Alright, so this weekend we are going to try and do the impossible. Except that I've done it before. I don't know how. Hello, my lovely friends, it's Margaret, and this week we are going to be trying not to get severely punished by my TBR game. Hi! I'm a mess. I'm gonna start you out with just like the massive stack of books that I need to read by the end of the month. It's not great. We're not doing well. I mean, I've read a few books this month. I had a whole readathon where I read a book in a weekend. I don't know why I can't do that on a regular basis. I have finished 1, 2, 3. Good Lord. I've finished 3 of the 9 books that were on my TBR. 8 of them I need to finish or I will be punished. I might as well just roll in that one now and get it over with, you know? Books that I am currently reading. I'm reading The Kindred by Alicia Dow. This is her sophomore novel set in the same universe as The Sound of Stars, but I do believe that this is earlier in the timeline than The Sound of Stars based on what is going on in Earth. This is before Earth has been taken over. Okay, out of 389, I am 144 pages into this one. This is my physical read. It's what I've been sitting down with and reading. So we need to finish this. I'm almost halfway through. Let's see. We're going to say that this needs to be finished by... We're going to say it needs to be finished by Wednesday. So that means that I need to read an hour about every day of this to finish it by Wednesday. I also am reading the group book for Team Romance on Blackathon, which preposition is the right for Blackathon, the group book for Team Romance for Blackathon. This is The Sweetest Remedy by Jane Igaro. This is about a woman who, her mother is white and lives in the United States. Her father is black and is from Nigeria. And he dies and she ends up getting invited to his funeral to meet basically all of her father's side of the family for the very first time in her life. I am 28 pages into this. This is one of those that I know once I get into it, I'm going to enjoy it because I liked the setup between her and the main love interest and all of that, but I wanted something a little bit lighter and fluffier than this is starting out because the first, I would say, I'm 28 pages in, so we are still getting to, like, the fact that her father has died and everyone's feelings about that, and it's not just her point of view, it's her point of view, his point of view. He's very close with her father's family, and then also, like, a couple of her half-siblings. And so it was very heavy, these first, like, 28 pages. I wanted something lighter, so I picked up The Kindred. I also was like, oh, that's right, I need to finish a science fiction novel, or I fail. I should put some sort of mechanic in that punishes you independently if you don't do your character traits, but you do complete the quests. I need to think about that. I also, last night, picked up East by Edith Pitot. This is a retelling of East of the Sun, West of the Moon. It's a little bit different. We'll probably talk about this more later, but I'm trying not to have this be 75 minutes. We are at almost 5. I am 210 pages in. It's very interesting. It's multi-points of view. It's not just the main character, Rose, and the white bear. I'm going to be honest, I hate the white bears sections, because it's like bad poetry, basically. And I don't think she's actually trying to make poetry. I think she's trying to deal with the fact that the bear has a very, because he's been turned into an animal, he's a human who's been turned into an animal, he has a very, like, limited amount of communication that he can do even in his own mind. Those 3 books I need to finish. This is an audiobook, at least. So I think we can get it. Let's see. How many hours do I need to listen? I need to listen for 3 more hours to this bad boy to be able to finish it. So I think we can have this finished by tomorrow. So let's set tomorrow as the ending date. Now, the 2 that I need to read and still haven't finished, The Forest of Stolen Girls by June Her. I'm lucky enough that I was able to get an audiobook of this through, was it Overdrive? I believe it might have been Overdrive. Overdrive and Libby are the same thing. I just prefer the Overdrive, what's it called? Yep, it's Overdrive. I prefer the Overdrive, operating system. Libby is too cutesy and fun and not as functional. I find it much harder to find, like, the things that I actually use. I don't like Libby. I don't like Libby. I find it harder to access things. I find it harder to figure out how it works. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to stick with Overdrive because it's still there. And the other thing that I don't have an audiobook for is No One Here Is Lonely by Sarah Everett. I need to have this finished by February 28th. This is the group book for the Avengers Initiative Reading Challenge for February. If you hadn't caught the thing, we're doing every other month, and that's really thrown me off because I keep forgetting that we have a group book that we need to finish. So I need to read this. This is about a girl who I think her best friend dies or something. And she's talking to him through emails, texts, and voice recordings or something like that. So 5 books in. We're going to be here for how many days? Today, including today. 1, 2. Yeah. Can I read 5 books in 8 days? That's a real good question. We sure are gonna try. We are in the part of the year where I can actually sit in front of the window and do this. Yay. Today is not the 21st, though. Hold on, let me fix that. So where are we in this thing where I'm trying to finish books? It's Friday. I finished 1 book. I finished 1 book. That was East by Edith Pitot. I gave it 3 stars this time around. It just, I don't know, didn't hit as hard considering everything that, like, I now believe about, like, consent and everything. And there was weird consent on all ends because, so, if you don't know the original story, the conditions for him to be able to be freed and not have to marry the Troll Queen's daughter, or in this case, the Troll Queen, was he had to have a maiden agree to live with him of her own accord for a whole year, which included him, like, sharing the bed with her. And in this one and in the original, I don't think anything happened. I don't remember the exact, like, I feel like there was more communication in the original, which is Cupid and Psyche. I feel like there was more in communication between them because they actually were in love. And so it was like he was trying to get around to Aphrodite. There wasn't any weird enchantment. I don't remember. Like, he was trying to convince his mom to let him marry a mortal woman. Basically is what he was trying to do. This is slightly different than that. Like, they never have any conversations about, like, any of it. And obviously he can't tell her about the enchantment, but, like, I don't know. And then there was some really weird stuff where, like, he was basically being brainwashed towards the end of it so that he would happily marry this Troll Queen after she whisks him away. Because the basic story is girl gets taken to the castle, girl lives with him for almost a year, and then, well, lives with him for a few, like, basically, let me rewind that. Girl gets taken to the castle. Girl lives with him for a while. She gets homesick. He goes, okay, you can go home for a month, see your family, just don't talk to your mother alone. Girl does talk to her mother alone, and mother finds out about this weird sleeping situation that's going on, and then like a normal mom would, she gets mildly concerned. She's seen as like something, like a bitty, like nosy, superstitious busybody, but like, this is a valid concern, my friends. So she gives the daughter a candle, because she's just been in the dark with this stranger for the good part of a year, and then she goes back. And then 1 month away from the end of the spell, when he would be freed forever, she lights the candle and looks at his face. And that means that he has lost, basically. Like, he is not going to be freed. And just, like, so many things. I don't know. I just, like, it was okay. I thought it was, like, she does a good job of, like, getting you through the story. She does a good job of, like, I don't know, she, like, cut out what I feel is some of the most fun parts of the fairy tale, which, like, it's focused on the relationship and the romance, but there really wasn't one. There was no development. I don't know why I loved it so much the first time I read it. And then she cuts out, like, the trials. She only keeps in the final trial that the girl has to do. It was interesting and doesn't quite hold up. I don't know if I'm going to read the sequel. I'll have to see what the sequel is about. I'm still making my way through Kindred. I'm not entirely sure where I am. It's somewhere in the 180s. I'm like around this here. I was just too tired to read the last couple of nights. And then also last night, this book took over my entire life. I'm here. I started this yesterday on my walk. I was like, okay, I'll listen to it on my walk and while I get ready for dinner. And then this is what happened. Like, I fully took away plans that I was going to do. I was going to go back and forth between prepping for tonight's game, because we're playing D&D tonight. I don't know why I bother prepping. It's not like I'm going to use any of it. Going back and prepping for tonight's game and doing some of the insurance stuff that I am still going on about. I'm sorry. This is my life now. This is just apparently going to be my life for the rest of my life, is getting authorized for these things. Anyways, long story short, I was just like, well, I just want to keep listening to my book, so I just kept prepping for the game. And also, I was slightly behind. I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to have everything prepped for tonight that I need to have. Like, I've got one more thing that I need to prep. And we'll see if it's done by 8 p.m., which is when the game is. So, there are a couple of other things that I have to do because I just got artwork from people. So, anyways, and then the goal is I'm going to finish, hopefully going to finish the Kindred tonight or tomorrow. And then I'll have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to read No One Here Is Lonely. This is the group book for the Avengers Initiative Reading Challenge. Technically, I don't have to have it done until, like, the live show. So, great, fantastic. And then, once I have finished The Forest of Stolen Girls, which is very good, by the way, like, really good. And I'm surprised that I'm enjoying it so much or so invested, considering there is no romance. I'm starting to realize that Junher just is not going to have romances, which I think makes maybe buying the books a mistake. Because those are the ones that have romances are the ones that I tend to like to reread. But I'm really enjoying this. And like, these are definitely going to go on recommendations lists. I'm going to be telling people, because not everyone is like me, and not everyone is like, I need some romance with my book. But then after that, I'm going to pick up Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry from the library. And I also have Royal Assassin. I think these two are going to be the ones that I go back and forth with using for the readathon, but I have to look at the prompts. As I have told everyone, nothing exists until after tonight's game, because I've been prepping for tonight's game. And like, just like, no, we're too close to the game for me to be thinking about other things. Sorry. And I do at some point need to finish The Sweetest Remedy by Jane Igaro. It wasn't bad. I just was not feeling it because it was very heavy at the beginning. And I know that's not how it's going to stay, but just like where we left off does not have me wanting to pick it back up right now. So I will eventually at some point, because I'm a weirdo who likes to complete things. Hi, we're here to talk about books. Please ignore how messy my room is because I'm just throwing stuff places so I can film. Yeah. Now you know my background's not as clean as it looks. Anyways, I'm here because I gotta make my bed so I can film. And I also need to talk about books. So we're gonna do that at the same time. Let's see. So, I think last I spoke with y'all, I was finishing Forest of Stolen Girls. Ta-da. I have since finished it. It was really, really good. I mean, you know, an author has to do well for me to really enjoy the book if there is no romance. So, like, Junher, I'm excited for the next one because there may be a little bit of a romance from what I'm understanding in the Red Palace. But Junher just really knows how to write mysteries, I feel. I really like her brand and the way that how character-driven it is. I think she does a fantastic, again, job of building the world, building the tension, creating really, like, I feel like this was an even more interesting mystery than the last one. And, I mean, I think part of that is because we really got to see, like, the family dynamics. We didn't really get to see her in the other one with her family. So we get to see this main character with her family. We get to, like, really feel the what's the word? Like, the impact of, because it's a fresher wound that we're working with in this one, I feel. Because her dad's, like, only been gone for a year versus in the first one, her brother's been gone for several. I don't know, I really liked it. I think her writing is getting better and better. And I mean, like, she already started off as a pretty strong writer. So that's really nice to, like, read a book and then be like, yeah, enjoy it just as much. Maybe even more. And I really like the fact, whoa, that's very bright. Hold on, let me fix that white balance for you. Not the white balance, the exposure. Is that better? Okay, now you can see me without me being, like, a glow stick. Anyways, so where was I going? Oh, it's really interesting because you think about historical narratives. We know that women have always had a more difficult, had a difficult time in historical settings. I mean, we're having a difficult time now, but, like, we're not gonna, that's not what this book is about. And I liked the fact that Junher likes to pinpoint the freedoms that women do have. She likes to pick female characters that are historically living. Oh, that's where all the light is coming from. I see. Okay. She likes to pick female characters and historical female characters that are living, like, different than the norm. And so she ends up showing you that, like, women did have, like, it was harder, but women did have more options than just get married, have babies. She definitely discusses that, and she definitely puts that in there as part of what the characters are not necessarily fighting against, but like this one, the main character throughout the whole book, she's just like, I just want to find my dad, and then I'm gonna go home and marry this dude that my aunt wants me to marry. Like, she starts out from the beginning being like, listen, I'm just here to figure out what happened to my father. And I'll, like, she's not necessarily fighting, even though she kind of wants more than that, she's not necessarily fighting against it. She's very realistic about that's what her, future is going to be. But it also shows that, like, while it was harder, there are still, like, women still had some options. And I like the fact that she highlights that women, you know, there were other options for women, even if what, you know, besides what we usually think of and hear of in historical settings. Ooh, that needs to be crunched. And then I finished that this morning, and I have started Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by Joya Goffney. This is one of my picks for Blackathon. It's not even fulfilling any fabling prompts, but I needed to make sure that I finished I have to finish at least 7 of my Fabelin books. I think if I can finish that one, I will have gotten, and Kindred, I will have gotten there. I'm behind, as usual. I have not been reading as much. It's fine. It's fine. I stayed up last night working on my bullet journal for my reading journal, or my reading journal. So, anyways, I have to go slap some makeup on. I've got to finish cleaning up my filming area. We're filming my TBR, and we're filming Veltathon today. Oh, and I need to go grab the stuff. All right. Hi. Hello. It's time to wrap this up before the sun goes down so far I can't start the next vlog. Long story short, I finished 4 out of the 5 books. So I ended up finishing East. I think I gave this 3 stars. I did. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. I thought it was good. It didn't hold up as well as I was hoping it would. I had some issues with kind of how certain elements of the story are handled, and I think when you are telling this story for a modern audience, I feel like you need to take into consideration certain things like consent and the fact that there is no communication between the two of them. And then the next one that I finished was Forest of Stolen Girls by June Her. This was so good, and it tells you a lot that I gave this 4 out of 5 stars and there was no romance. Like, I could not put this down. I think I finished it in 2 days. It was one of those things where, like, you started reading and you had so many questions about what was going on in this book. Dynamics between the sisters are messy, but they are also very gripping, and like have you turning pages to see what's gonna happen next. So I really enjoyed this. After that, I finished Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by Joya Goffney. Again, another one that I put down. I mean, we were running out of time, so I did this one the 27th and 28th. Like, I did this on a Sunday and a Monday. Like, I listened to most of this on Sunday and then finished it on Monday. It was really, really good, really cute. I liked the setup. I liked the way that the relationship between the two main characters, or between Quinn and Carter, develops. And I really liked the way that it goes about why she's doing this journal, what the journal means to her, and the things that she kind of explores in having to break outside of her comfort zone to deal with this blackmailer. This got 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good, and I highly recommend it. Like, I want this on my shelf. And then the final book that I did finish on February 28th, like right before it was time for me to go to bed, was No One Here Is Lonely by Sarah Everett. I really enjoyed this. Gave it 4. Yeah, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I thought that this was a really relatable book for people who are, like, I was able to kind of go back to certain experiences in my late teens. I really liked it was a really interesting way to talk about grief and feeling lost as you get out of high school, and the way things change as you get older, and losing friendships and all kinds of interesting things. I don't know. I liked it. I felt like it was really realistic for the way that, like, teen thought patterns work. So I enjoyed it. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. And it's going to be interesting to talk about this in the live show, considering I don't think everyone in the live show enjoyed it as much as, or in the group enjoyed it as much as I did. That is what I read for this final week in February. I think reading 4 books in a little over a week and 8 days is pretty good for what I did. I am currently, like, I don't know, 100 or so pages into The Sweetest Remedy. I'm having to put it aside because I'm about to start another readathon here pretty soon. I didn't quite get it finished, but I am enjoying it. We've gotten into the part where I'm enjoying it. Some of the romance is feeling a little cringe, and I'm not feeling it. It's maybe going a little too fast for my personal tastes, but I'm really liking the family dynamics of this particular book, and the things that she's kind of learning and discovering about herself, and the connection that she is finding, and the way that it's really just wonderful to see her being fulfilled and having these, not holes, but like these wants that she's had her entire life, kind of finding the people that meet those wants. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about it at the end. We've just started getting into where the romance is picking up, so hopefully they'll be able to, it'll draw me in a little bit more. But like, it's really, like, I'm enjoying most of it at the moment. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you enjoyed this video, I will have other videos over here. I'll have something specially picked out for you right up here, and I'll have whatever is newest on my channel down here at the bottom. That is it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we will talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye! Hello, my lovely